Now, Friday, October 14th in the city of Nazareth, and we're about to enter a Nazareth village on how life would have been 2,000 years ago.
Thank you for being here. Shalom, Daniel.
My theory is always in the
Right here, sir.
So, Brother Yonatan Melech David, how is your day going today?
Jonathan, the biggest donkey in the Middle East, is doing fine, sir.
But God loves big donkeys.
He uses one to even talk to a prophet once.
That's
believe
right.
it, and even carry the Lord in. So I guess there's still hope for donkeys. So, brothers and sisters, we're going to have a local guide, and he's going to take us around here. Nazareth village.
Nazareth village.
In Hebrew, that would be Kefar Nazareth. Kefar, like here, he takes people all over Israel.
This means that I'm better than you.
Brother, everyone's better than me. What can I do?
So I can see that you brought a guest. Please take your guest with you back in the States. Okay, so we'll go to see a village and a farm. The tour is about an hour and 15 minutes. Yoni is okay?
There's two more ladies in the
Thank you, those are my glasses.
Yoni is okay, 1 hour and 15 minutes?
1 hour and 15 minutes is lovely.
Excellent. We'll go to see people dressed in first century costumes and you see those pictures. And I need to tell you that they are not from the first century. And you can ask me anything anytime and you can take as many pictures as you want. We'll have a short introduction in one of the rooms inside and then we'll go straight outside and the entire tour almost will be outside. Now ready to go, everybody's here? One more? Is she important?
So what they use in the villages? Are they?
Exactly like they had in the first century, yes. We found pieces in the gallery, so we know that those were the tools.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what we want.
Anybody else in here from Jesus? Okay, Daniel, looks like everyone's out. Except for Brooks.
Okay, come with me. This is what is written on the back side of my t-shirt. Follow me. Please do so.
Oh, there's the tree.
You need to follow me, not somebody else. The last one, close the door, please. Last one, close the door.
Hello? You're over here?
Okay, great. Now, this is our building that we are right now. We'll go straight outside and we'll see first of all the farm that is the original one from the first century, which means from Jesus' time. How and why we know this, I will tell you in a minute. Then we'll see a village which is made by us. This is a recreation that we have started in 1995. And it took us 6 years to build 5 buildings. And during this time, the Ministry of Antiquities, they came here and they started digging the place. So it took them also approximately 6 years to do all the diggings. And we found few things that are so amazing. And I will tell you in a minute about this. Now, we are a Christian organization, which is non-denominational one. We have 4 entities in this organization. The name of our organization is Nazareth Trust. Our headquarters are in Scotland. And we have actually Nazareth Hospital, We have Nazareth Nursing School, Nazareth Village, and the special program for volunteers, which is called Serve Nazareth. By the way, outside you'll see some villagers that are volunteers from abroad, some of them from the States, that they came here for a period of time. Now, the Nazareth of the first century was located up here. From our place to there is about 10 minutes of walking, so we assume that this was the farm of this village. What this means, that we will step on Jesus' steps outside. We assume that this is where they were working, walking, playing around, probably every day of their lives. Young adults, teenagers, and all the people from the village. In the first century, we assume that the population of Nazareth was 400 up to 500 people, which means everybody knew everybody. Remember Luke chapter 4? It says over there that Jesus, we call him in Hebrew Yeshua, he entered into the synagogue, and as soon that he was preaching over there, everybody was talking. He's not the son of our carpenter, he's not the son of Joseph and Mary. How they knew so many things about him? Because it was a small village, everybody knew everybody. And now let me tell you what we found over here, why we consider this the farm of the first century. The most important archaeological discovery, a wine press. Look how they made wine or juice in the first century, not with their shoes, not with their sandals, barefoot. Would like a cup of wine right now. Anybody can guess why barefoot and not using their sandals or their shoes?
The seeds.
Yes, the seeds. Have you been here before?
Johnny told us.
Why did you tell them?
We ran a wine press. I forgot what was
The olive press.
But this is
press. Yeah, there you go.
But this is what we're supposed to say over here. So if he told you everything, why I need to do this?
Fact checking.
Yes, he did. So they didn't want to crush the seed. This is why they pressed the grapes barefoot. And this is actually the spot which I'm going to show you outside. I will stand at exactly where these people are standing right now, and you'll see the pottery shards in the lobby. In one of the displays, you'll see some of the original ones which were found here. So this is how we know that this wine press was in use in the first century, probably Jesus' time. And now another thing that was found over here, and you'll see outside our terraces like you see over here. We made this just in order for us to explain to you what this means. On a rocky hill you need to plant, but you cannot plant on rock, isn't it? So what you are going to do, first you are taking your chisels, your hammers, and you are digging steps. Then you fill the steps with two kinds of soil, as you can see over here. Chalk, this is the one that we are writing on the blackboard with. And when it rains, this would become like cement. So actually the first rain would go through, but the second one will not go through. So what it's going to do, it will irrigate the second terrace and the third one and the fourth one. So then we have this soil which is called terra rossa, which is so good to plant on it. And then if this would be washed away when the rain was coming, in order to do not happen this, what we are going to do, placing stone upon stone, as you see over here, as a fence. All the terraces that you will see outside are original ones. We just added more stones to be visible. And this reminds me a story from the New Testament. By the way, you hear me talking about New Testament and Bible all over the place because we are a Christian organization. In that story it says that an important man invited a lot of people for a wedding. And when this wedding came, nobody showed up. You remember probably that all of these people found excuses. One of these excuses was I bought a land and I need to check the land. But actually this was a lie, because first you need to see, then you need to pay, isn't it? He said I bought the land already and now I'm going to check. And of course this was a lazy excuse. Now I need to tell you, if this were in good condition, you should pay a lot of money. Otherwise you need to repair the terraces or redo the terraces. Now about 3 years ago, me and my wife, we bought a land next to the Sea of Galilee, and my wife went there approximately 70 times before to pay the price. Why? She checked all the stones from the land, all the trees, all the neighbors, all the roads. And I think this was the case also in the first century. First you need to see, then you need to pay. Now, we go outside. Please do not use shortcuts. Just stay with me and follow what is written on the back side of my t-shirt. What is this? This is a door. Oh, we got many questions. Yes, indeed. This is a door. which is from the Ottoman period. We do not know exactly the age of this door. Some people assume that this is 200 years old, some assume that this is 400 years old, but we do not know for sure. And we have two doors in one, a small one and a big one. Now the big one was locked always, and this would be open only if you have luggages or if you want animals to go inside with. But otherwise, this would be open. In this way, when you are going inside, you need to find your head. You are not seeing anything what is inside, and this way probably the peasants will wait for you with sticks on the other side of the door, and they will solve all your problems and all their problems. And besides this, also the soldiers, the soldiers were on horses. You don't want the soldiers to come inside, to make a lot of damage on horses, which means that, they will get off the horse and they will do the same thing. And you'll see probably in Bethlehem, that kind of door like this one. On Via Dolorosa, you'll see also one or two doors like this one. In Nazareth, you can find something similar, and most of these doors are from the Ottoman period, and some of them, they said that in Jesus' time they had similar doors. Okay? Now, we go outside. Please come with me.
This is one of the best sites, sister.
At the door.
Hey, would you just stand here and hold this and we'll take a photograph?
And let him go in, if they do that.
What was that?
Thank you.
מזל שלא היה לי שום דבר לעשות.
Okay, please come. Are you the last one?
חיים לאט, זה התענוג של החיים.
Okay, please come. I want you to meet our farmer, Simon. He
Hi,
will
everybody. Good
explain
morning.
to you.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good.
Well, as Mr. Daniel said, I'm Simon, the farmer of the village, and at least I'm 2,000 years old. We're going to talk about the season of harvesting the olive tree. We started already picking all the big green olives. We smash it, put it in salt and water and lemon, and send it to the kitchen. After 2 weeks, we start to eat it. It's very delicious, healthy, and give you a lot of appetite to eat. Now, here in the Middle East, usually we're waiting for the first rain. Why first rain? Because we need the rain to clean the tree from dust. Then we put a very big sheet down of the tree. As you see here, we have a sheet down there. And we start putting all the olives down on the sheet. Just pull it up like that with your fingers. When we finish the whole tree, we send everything to the press. The second way is by stick. Why are we using the stick? Because we have high branches. Then we hit the branch, shake it, and all the olives fall down. But this is not good way because we are broken a lot of branches. And when we do that next year or after, we won't have any olives on it. That's why in the same moment that we're picking olives, also we prune the tree. What's that mean? We don't want any high branch. We need just the low branches and the circle and empty from inside. This should be the way of the tree. Then, if we have a very high branches, the high branch make a lot of shade on the other side of the tree, and that's not good because the tree need a lot of sun. Also, we know that less branches, that much more bigger olives. Much more bigger olives, that much more oil. Also for our safety. That's mean it's winter time, everything is wet, and we need to climb on the tree. Then it's very dangerous. That's why we take all the whole high branches. Usually, if we have 100 kilos of olives, we're going to have about 25 till 30% oil. About 25 or till 30 kilos of oil. All right? Any questions? Okay, enjoy your time.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Simon.
Let's continue, please.
Simon.
Farmer Simon. How old is the tree?
Never know, but it's almost say 70
Make it smaller. Right.
Okay. Look over here. This is the oldest olive tree that we have over here. About 420, 425 years old, more or less. We still have a lot of olives, and as you can see, the olives start to turn into black because from the same olive tree we can take green and black olives. So now in October, November is the time when the olives start to turn into black. And as Simon said, a few days ago, we have started already the process of picking up the olives, but we are still praying and waiting for the first rain. When it's supposed to come, any minute, any day. And in this way, we start already picking up all the olives and we make oil exactly like in the first century. The little one from here, this is called an offshoot. And this is mentioned in Isaiah 11, if you remember, where it says an offshoot will come from the family of Jesse. And this was a prophecy regarding the future Messiah. And that is, as you can see over here, this is actually from the same root, not from the same trunk, the shoots. Yeah? What this means? If we cut the tree from the bud, a few months later, 1-2 years later, we have already another tree coming back to life, and we have already a lot of olives on this one. Yeah. Now this is called in Hebrew netzer. Now I'm going to teach you a few words in Hebrew. I don't know if he taught you or if he will teach you, but if not, this is a good start. This is called in Hebrew netzer. Netzer is actually the root of the name of our city, because in English we say Nazareth, but in Hebrew we say Nazareth. And as we know, our city was established by few families from Bethlehem that they moved all the way to the north, established a small settlement, which probably they called it the offshoot of. Now, you remember that saying which says, can anything good come from Nazareth? Because the people that they established this city were rebels against the government of those times. If you remember, Nazareth and the entire Galilee was called the Galilee of the nations or Gentiles. So many Romans in those times were here, and the Jews wanted to get rid of them. This is why they were waiting for Messiah to help them to do this, and this is why they established Nazareth. If somebody will ask me today if anything good can come from Nazareth, I have an answer, and this is Jesus. Let's continue.
Nazarethan village. Oh, there's another native Nazarite. Oh. So she.
Okay, now this is Abraham, our shepherd. Hello, Abraham.
Hello, Abraham.
Now, now he has few sheep inside, and as you can see, they are quiet. And I need to tell you why. Because they see him over here. If he's not here, they will start crying. They know his voice, they know his gestures, even they know his smell. So once in a while, probably once in 2 weeks, I'm the shepherd instead of him or somebody else. And those are our bad days. Because no sheep is listening to us. We are fake shepherds, and they know this. They don't know, they don't recognize our voices, even though I use the same language and the same words as they use, but this doesn't count. I don't have the same smell and the same gestures, and I don't have the same voice, so they know this. Even though he's not over here, he's over there, they know that the shepherd is around, so they feel safe. Now, we had goats few years ago. Now it's not the case because we sold all our goats. The goats are not good listeners, troublemakers always. Now when the groups are here, no problem. They are afraid and they will stick with the flock. But when the groups are leaving, always the goats were jumping the fence, eating everything, including all the olives. You need to know they were jumping on the trees and they were eating the flowers of the olives, even the olives. So in the season of picking up the olives, only half of the olives, those that were up and they couldn't reach those, we could find. So this is why we decided to sell all our goats. And remember, Jesus said at the end of the times, I'll separate the sheep from the goats. And probably because of their behavior. And this is quite a lesson for us. We need to recognize our shepherd, we need to follow him, and we need to do whatever he is requesting from us. Now another thing that you see over here, the door or the gate. Now we spoke with so many people that they are old, from the other generations, and they said from their grandparents that in some cases they had doors like this one, in some cases no doors, just the entrance to the sheepfold. Because when the shepherd is placing inside the sheep and the goats, actually he would stand over here instead of the door. And in the night time, he will lean down over here. So what this means that nobody goes inside and nobody goes outside, just through the shepherd. And if you remember in the Gospel of John chapter 10, in one of his sermons, he says, I am the door of the sheep. Nobody goes to Father just through me. And this is amazing to know. Always when Jesus was talking to them, he was using their language, because in this way they could have understand. Like today, our pastors, rabbis, priests, when they are teaching us, they use examples from our daily lifestyle, because in this way we can understand whatever they are saying. We shared the wool also about a month ago. We gave them a nice haircut for the summer, and later on when we visit the house of the weaver, I will explain more about this. Thank you so much. Yes.
How far will the donkey go once he's off the tether?
Okay. Look what he's doing. By the way, she's very friendly, and her name is Cynthia. You need to know. But they will take care of them, and I need to tell you why we call this donkey Cynthia. I think she is 6 or 7 years old, because we had a volunteer from the States, and she was our shepherd for a year. And her name was Cynthia. And she was so in love with all the animals that we had, with all the sheep, all the goats, all the donkeys. And one of the donkeys gave birth exactly in the last day when she left back to the States. So this is why everybody called the little one Cynthia. So this is Cynthia in her memory. Thank you. They will take care of the donkey, don't worry. This is a replica of a tomb, of a rich family tomb. I don't know if you have been to the garden tomb. Not yet? Okay, you'll go over there. This is not a copy of that tomb. You need to see this and you need to realize this. But we made this because, if you remember in the beginning, I said that we are a Christian organization. And what we do over here, especially on Easter, we do special programs for the local community. A special program that is called Easter in the Holy Land, with all the passages from the Bible, like the trial of Jesus, Gethsemane Garden. Also, we do the crucifixion up there, and also we do the resurrection scene over here. And in 2019, the last sketch that we had for 4 evenings, we had 5,000 locals. We had Jews and Arabs that they came here to see this. Now we start preparations and also praying for next year, for April 2023. In the last station of our tour, you'll see short videos from that program that we had in 2019. Now, inside is a big chamber. It's a very tall one. Actually, can stand inside. And in those times, they had 2 stages of burial. When somebody dies from your family, you place that body in a piece of cloth. You place the body inside, and according to tradition, for a week, more or less, the women of the family would come to the tomb, either to cry, either to embalm the body, either to see if everything is okay. But then, after this week, nobody's coming to the tomb for at least 1 or 2 years. And in this time, the body will be decomposed. Then you take the bones and you place the bones in a stone box, which is long enough for this bone of the body, wide enough for this bone of the body, and you place the stone boxes ossuaries inside. In this way, you place all your family inside. And you remember, we have a sentence all over the Old Testament which says he was gathered to his parents, which means his bones were placed in the same tomb with his parents' bones. Besides this, you remember Joseph, when he blessed his kids in Egypt, he said, when you go back to Holy Land, take my bones with you. They were taking good care of bones, because no bones, no resurrection. This was for Jews, the tradition. So this is why they were taking good care of their bones. We have a stone over here, which is 1,000 pounds, very heavy. But if the entrance was bigger and higher, the stone should be bigger and heavier. And do you remember that the women going to the tomb on the Sunday of Resurrection, on the way they were talking about the stone? Who is going to help us with the stone? Why they had the stone like this one? You know, to do not let the thieves to go inside, and also the animals, because if they will eat the bones, it will be a huge problem later on. Now, if you want to take a look to see the tomb, you are more than welcome. Nobody was here, nobody's here, and nobody will be here. But if you stay too long, I might close the door.
I have to wait to take a picture. Do you want to stand over here in the shade?
Yeah.
Go that way. Go in there, Grandpa.
There's several people in there right now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a bunch. It's definitely not small.
No?
Okay.
Is that like the taxi where people just
Right? It's like a clown car type thing.
Yeah, clown car. 1.
Okay,
Two.
there's enough for people to turn around in there.
Yeah, it
Too.
must be. 3, 4,
I'm gonna go.
5,
Okay, let's start going up here.
6.
Yeah, your dad. We're like, don't stand up yet, don't stand up yet, because the first part's a little low.
Okay?
7.
No tables.
Okay, now, let me tell you about the findings that were found over here. This is the spot where I'm telling you about the archaeological findings. What we found here, a wine press, which I'm going to show you in a minute. We found the terraces, if you remember, on a rocky hill you need to plant, but first you need to do the diggings, then you fill the steps with soil, and then you place stone upon stone as a fence, which you can see all of these stones, or let's say 80% of these stones were added by us, but the base of all the terraces is original. Also, we have over there a watchtower that is a replica, but you need to know that here we found ruins of 2 watchtowers. We found a Roman road, an irrigation system carved in bedrock. Everything was on the other side of that road, which was built later on about municipality. About 15 years ago that was built. They built a school as well over there, and everything was covered, unfortunately. So we cannot see any of those ruins for now. This is why we made this recreation of a watchtower. And now let me show you the wine press. Remember I said I will stand exactly what those 2 people were standing. This is the square. You can see that this is man-made chisels. Here they are pressing the grapes. Probably they had the roof over here. They had ropes and they were holding the ropes because it was slippery. Here they were dancing on the grapes, maybe singing on the grapes, Nagila or who knows what. Then all the juice flows down through this channel, which is man-made. This is not made by us. We found this exactly as it is. And 1, 2, 3 hours later, you come with your jars and you are scooping out the juice from the inside of this basin. You bring home all the juice. Some of their jars fell down here, were broken in small pieces, which we found together with the Ministry of Antiquities, and they dated this back to 1st century after Jesus, which means probably Jesus' time. So we know for sure the wine press was in use in those times. Now we consider that this is Nazareth farm. Why? For 3 reasons. First of all, this is close to the place where the village was located. If you remember, 10 minutes of walking. So now we have cars, we have trucks. So the farm can be, miles further from our home. But in those times, everything was done, with camels or donkeys. So you should have everything close by. Second, because of what was found here. And thirdly, Jesus said something in one of his parables. By the way, you can find this parable in all 4 Gospels. He says, a man planted a vineyard. And this man dug a vat or a wine press, which we have here. This man put fences around the wine press. If you look behind, you can see the fences, the terraces. And this man built a watchtower, which we had here 2 watchtowers. Now, if Jesus is mentioning these things in his parable, which we found here, what does this mean? He was here. 25 years, more or less, of his life he spent where? Around Nazareth. So probably when he was a teenager, when he was a child or a young adult, maybe he was pressing the grapes over here. We do not know for sure, but we assume so. And this is why we can say for sure that we are stepping those footsteps right now, physically. But at least for me, the most important thing is not to step on his steps physically, but spiritually, to live his life and to fulfill his commandments. This is what I'm trying to do every day of my life.
Amen.
If you want to come here to take pictures, you are more than welcome. But if you have questions so far. Okay, you can come over here 1 or 2 minutes to take pictures, but in 30 seconds we are leaving.
No, no, I was.
So it's go down underneath with the doors at the bottom.
I do have a question.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Seems to me it slopes down here, right? So,
Just feel like picture.
okay.
Because they forgot who made them.
Right.
Who had supplied all their needs.
I'll try it like that. Yeah. Okay, I'm taking a picture of this from this way.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
need to teach them. If you spend a few months with the sheep, they will notify themselves. Because you feed them, you give them water, sometimes you pet them, you talk to them. So they know who is the shepherd. Yes. You know, like our kids or grandsons, it's the same. You know, they are not going to strangers. Why? Because they don't know them, but they got used to special faith.
Oh, bunk beds.
I will tell you in a minute. Hello, are you coming today? I think Yoni is keeping them, busy, and they are coming so slow because of him.
He's very attractive,
Yeah.
like a magnet.
There's four more coming. One more. Plus Yoni and his son.
Yoni has been here thousands of times, so he doesn't need to listen to me.
What do you think it's for?
One more. Okay.
Okay, this is the olive press. And we start working over here, I think, if I'm not mistaken, on Monday. But it will not be ready probably Tuesday, so we need to come back in a few days. We will place all the olives inside of this basin or vat. And here we have a stone. This is called the millstone. Maybe you heard about this. Jesus says once, if you make one of these little kids to commit sin, it would have been easier for you to have a stone like this one tied to your neck and you'll be thrown down into the bottom of the sea. I don't know how many seconds you need to go down deep there with a stone like this one tied to your neck. But again, Jesus used their language. And this is also about 1,000 pounds, but not always was the same weight. While we have the stone over here, if you remember at the wine press, no crushing. Here we crush everything, including the pits, because you have a lot of oil inside of the pits. And now, the donkey, because he's not here, we need a volunteer.
Yoni!
Okay, come.
But the
No.
donkey is
Now I
here.
think he volunteer.
I'll volunteer, yeah.
Okay, what you need to do, come here and just push this around, okay?
Okay.
Don't stay in his way, please. Yeah, go.
Land up.
Okay, please tell him that he needs to do it faster.
Okay.
Faster! You're too slow.
That'll work out.
Oh, but actually he's great, isn't he?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I did tell him that he needs to do it for a half an hour. What's your name, sir?
Matt.
Matt, come here in the season, I'll call you, okay?
Okay, yeah,
Okay, great. This is enough for now. Thank you so much. Now, after half an hour, you know what we have here inside of this basin? You want also?
sure. Yeah, let him go.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go. Wow, you are so strong. Go. Yeah. Go. I think he's stronger than you, man.
I think he is.
Thank you.
Epic discussion up front.
Now, oh, she wants to.
Wow!
Wow.
Good girl.
Great.
Muscle.
You want to? No. You want to? No, okay. Now, 30 minutes later, okay, it's enough honey right now, okay? Now, 30 minutes later, you know what we have here? We have a pulp of the olive being crushed. Very oily, a mash. Now, if you want to take this mash with your hands, which we can and we do, we are placing everything inside. And if you are squeezing in this way, you know how much oil is going down. It's so oily. And then these baskets would become like tires or like wheels. And then you place the baskets one on top of the other ones, and through the hole in the middle, the oil flows down. Where and how? We continue from there. Please come with me. Over here. Just be aware of the steps. Please, you need to be very careful, okay? We have holes around. Don't lean on the ropes. And we have a step over here. Now, we are filling up 10, 12 baskets with the mesh from there. And all of these baskets would be placed down here. You see, we have already some baskets on the top of a vat. That vat is about 1.5 feet in such a way that you can reach the bottom with your hand with a small jar, and you are scooping out the oil from the inside of that. Now, we press the baskets 3 times. First press is you place the baskets and you wait. This is the first press, which is the most pure oil, the most holy oil, the most expensive oil, which in our tradition we call this abikurim, which means the first fruits. And always remember, the first fruits were supposed to be given to God. So they went to the temple where God dwelt in the first century, and they were lighting the menorah, and they were anointing the kings, the priests, and the prophets. So first oil for him. Then we need oil for us. So what we are going to do, we have one installation here, one there. These are exact copies of what was found in other places. Stones, which are weights. Each of these stones is about 500 up to 600 pounds. How this is functioning? Simple. Now, we are not working on this side of the building. This is why here we just show to the people we are not working. This is why the stones are not tied into the beam. So you place these sticks inside of these holes, and now if you're looking at the rope is moving upwards. Yeah, what this means, that you can lift up the stones. Now, when you lift up the stones till this level, the entire beam that you see over here would move. How? Look at the stick that I have in my hand. Lifting up the stones, the beam would go up a little bit there and down a little bit here. Yeah, it's so simple how this is functioning. But in this way, with this wooden cap that we have over here, we press the same baskets. But now depending on how many stones we lift up. Second press, probably one of the stones. This means that this oil is not pure oil anymore, so we cannot give to God. This goes for us. Cooking, making medicine, perfume. Third press, 3 stones. A lot of pressure. Now this oil will be so dirty. And now you are lighting the oil lamps in your homes. By the way, this is a replica of the oil lamps that were found from the 1st century in the Galilee. This is called the Galilean oil lamp. And if you see over here, this is also the logo of Nazareth Village on my t-shirt, because we are reminded of light whenever we are looking to this oil lamp, and we want to share the light with everybody that is coming over here. And now let's go back to Hebrew language. Remember what I promised, that I will teach you a few words. Remember Netzer? Nazareth? And now, you remember my name?
Daniel.
Yes, excellent.
I know your name, Daniel.
Excellent. You know that with some of the groups I'm asking the same question here and nobody is remembering my name. Sometimes 50 people. I said, what have you do till now? You know, it's already 1 hour with you and you don't remember my name, but you are good. Now, Daniel is the English version of my name, but in Hebrew my name is Daniel. Daniel comes from 2 words. Dan is to judge, El is Elohim, so God has judged. Always when we name our kids according to what we feel. If we are okay and if we are happy when we have a child, his or her name would be a happy name. But if we are sad when we have a child, oops, it will be a problem. I asked once my mom if she was happy or sad when she had me, and she said, I don't remember. So, huge problem. You know, as soon as I got married, I was praying to have a son. I wanted for my name to be continued. Okay, so we still have people coming. Everybody's here. This is Shaul or Saul. Hello, Shaul. We have over there Shmuel or Samuel, and we have over there Martha or Martha. Now, this is his house, and this is the house of the potter. He's the potter of the village. Down there where Mr. Yoni is standing, we have two pools where he's mixing mud with water, and this becomes clay. This is the raw material, you know, to make clay vessels. And then he has this wheel over here, which is man-powered, and now he's shaping the clay, as you can see. And the word that is used in the Old Testament for the potter is yotzer. Yotzer means the former of the clay. And when it says in the book of Genesis that God formed the man according to his image, it says over there yatzar, so he formed, yeah? So, and this is amazing because in Isaiah 64, God says, I'm the former of the clay and you are clay in my hands. And looking at his hands, I'm imagining, you know, God that he's taking us in his hands and he's shaping us. And it's good to know that we are in good hands. What if my enemies will shape me? What if my neighbors or even my family will shape me? I don't think it will be good. But when God is shaping us, we are in good hands always. And sometimes you need to know that God is using crushing. Because as soon as you will finish over here, if he's not satisfied with this, if this is not burned, he's taking a hammer, he's breaking everything, and he starts over again. And God is doing sometimes the same thing. He's using crushing. And many times I ask God, why God? Because I'm a good person, you know. But then I realized he wants me purer and more holy. And this is why sometimes it's painful. But this is how God is working. As soon as you'll finish, he's placing everything on that kiln or oven for 24 hours. And then he's bringing everything inside of the shells for about 2 weeks till everything dries out. And then he's ready to sell his products to the villagers. Even to our visitors in the next season. Probably we would like to do this over here, but for now it's not possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you want to take a look to see the house, you can do. Don't mess with the things because Martha, oh, she's not here. Don't touch anything, but she'll have that.
There's the bathtub. Or the crib. Oh, steps to nowhere.
Is my thing stuck on something?
Got it.
יש לי תמונה, אחת התמונות האהובות עליי, אני ואתה עומדים כאן ביד.
I'm going to walk down to the front of this kiln.
So we have here our carpenter, and his name is Joseph or Yosef in Hebrew. Hello, Joseph.
Hello, Joseph.
Now the word for carpenter in Greek language is tekton. Tekton means to work with wood as well as with stone. So we assume that Jesus was not just a carpenter, was stonemason or builder. And from this word tekton, we have the word that we use today, architect, which comes from tekton. Now you can see most of the tools that he has on his table, like chisels. And somebody asked me about the tools. You need to know that they found pieces of their tools. Then we have a plane. The plane is using right now, and he wants to show you. Yes, and then we have this stone, which is a basaltic stone. Maybe you heard about flint stone. So this is flint, and this is like the sandpaper that we use today. And you know, yesterday I wanted to use this to shave, but he said no, you cannot shave with this. So this is why I didn't use this. Sir, you use something like this when you're shaving yourself? No?
Not for 24 years.
Oh, no. So look what he wanted to give me yesterday. Look. To shave. I think you need to give to him, you know, maybe after 24 years he wants to use it. And then this one is basalt, and this is to sharpen your tools. And then we have an adze. The adze is actually 2-in-1, is to cut the wood but also to use as a hammer. But especially yesterday I was so tired and I used this, and I said that this is 3-in-1. I stretched my back. You know, when you are tired, you should try, you know, it's at the end of the day. Yes, you can take one. Oh, this is amazing. And then look, what do you think is this tool for? No? To make holes, drill, yes. First century Black and Deck, yeah.
Wow.
2 or 3 minutes for one hole. If you are going today for a job interview and you are telling them, I'll make a hole in 3 minutes, they will tell you, no, thank you. But first century, this was okay. Okay, anybody like to try it? Let's go. Okay, go. Yeah, go. And then you also. Let's see you.
Where's Epic? Epic, do you want to do it?
Okay, first the little girls and then you, okay? Okay, let's do 4 hands. Put both of your hands over here, and he will help you. Good. Okay, your turn. Go. Her turn, and then you, okay? One more.
Wait a little bit.
Yeah! Excellent! Thank you. Now your turn.
You try that.
They will be good when all of you will be 18, so please come to help us, okay? Thank you so much. Now, we are going upstairs to see another house. We have 2 ways. Do we have a good house?
Sir, when the tour is over, I'm guessing in about 30, 45 minutes. After we exit from the shop. Something to eat.
Oh, an Amtrak bed.
This is the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
That's the island.
Raymond, if you're coming this way, make sure you duck. I figured out that I got stuck. I found that.
Question.
I found the secret.
So multi-level houses,
No.
lots of them, or
No. I will tell you about this in a minute.
keep jumping ahead?
No, it's okay. I was not supposed to say this, but because you asked, I'm going to tell you. Okay, now this is Hannah, our weaver. Hello, Hannah. Shalom.
Good morning.
Welcome. Now,
Morning.
before to explain to you what she's doing over here, I have a question about multi-level houses or something like this, because you saw a house there and you saw probably the upper house over here. I need to tell you that these were two houses, separate two houses. In the Jewish tradition in those times, they had, I mean, if I am a father and I have sons, I need to make a house for each of my sons. Today in the Arabic tradition is the same thing. Because as a good father as I am, I need to take care of my sons. So remember Jesus said in the Gospel of John chapter 14, I am going to prepare for you a place. Wherever I am, you need to be. So they understood immediately. He's a good father and he's making houses for us. So this is another house of the same family. They had upper floors just for rich people. And according to what we know, in Nazareth, probably only one house was with an upper floor. We have that house that is a replica, which we are using just for filmings, but otherwise we are not using that house. And that was probably the house of the landlord, that he was rich. If you remember, Jesus took the Lord's Supper with the disciples in an upper room, but in Jerusalem probably they had more than one rich person. And now Hannah is dealing with the wool. This is natural wool from our sheep, which we are shearing, as I said earlier, with a scissor like this one. This is a replica of the scissors that they found from the 1st century. This is also for haircuts. I can see that some of you need a haircut, so today is for free after the tour. Yeah, come and
The end of the week.
yeah. It's for free, yes, today?
Yes, of course.
Then we need to dye the wool, we need to wash the wool. So this is why we have a basin over there. And there we are placing warm water, all kind of ingredients inside, like vegetables, fruits, or spices. And then we dye the wool inside. If we want a light color, we need to take out the wool immediately. But if we want a darker color, we need to keep it for a longer time. Now we have over here, this is wool which is colored here, and I need to give you clues, and you need to guess what are these colors made of. This is made by a special spice, very expensive, starts with S.
Saffron.
Exactly. It looks magic, but it's not magic, it's just experience.
How many?
2022 years, yes. And then you cannot use the yarn that she made. Look what is going on. You need to place everything on balls that you see over here. And look how you can, after 3 weeks, see? After 3 weeks, this cool down and you can use. And you can place everything on the loom that you see behind her. And now she's weaving.
You cannot see me now. Wait.
Yeah.
Just a minute. I will make it three side. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a pattern, so she can do whatever she wants.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, this is the final product. It's taking her 1.5 months to make one of this, and everything is with our wool, which is made here, colored over here, spinned over here, and made on this loom. With all the leftovers from up there and down there, maybe you saw her doing this. She's making Barbies. These are the Barbies of the 1st
Do you have
century.
Barbie like this?
Do you have Barbies like this? Yeah? But this, they were not Barbies. They didn't call these Barbies.
Hannah, Daniel, Moses, Rachel, Esther.
Thank you so much, Hannah. Thank you so much.
I want to thank you, Daniel, and I want to thank all of you for visiting me.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you and welcome.
Thank you.
Have a good day and
Shabbat shalom.
love you. For you love me. Bye.
Bye bye. We are going this way to the synagogue. Our last station in the.
Thank you so much.
You will have to do something. I want to say this way.
This is a synagogue in the Nazareth village.
Fishing with us.
Yeah. Please come on inside.
Here you can have a seat.
Yes, thank you, my sister.
I was gonna say you can't sit on it, can you? 'Cause-
It's been a little fun, already.
That is a modern day siren. The donut shop closes early on the Shabbat. They're going to get it there and get the marked down donuts. Enough to make it to Sunday.
Okay, so this is the synagogue of Nazareth village, which is the recreation. This is a copy of the synagogue of Gamla, but we made it with roof, with columns, with benches, with everything. The ceiling that you see is made by few layers. First is made by reeds, bamboo, as you can see, but then we have 3 layers. The first one and the last one is made by a combination of little stones, chalk, ashes, straws. The middle one is made by dried earth, and this is waterproof. This is such a strong ceiling because people could sleep on the roof of the house. And if you remember, we had an example in the book of Acts when Simon, he was on a roof of a house, and he received a vision with the unclean animals. But this is breakable too. And if you remember in Capernaum, it said that 4 people, they wanted to bring a paralytic to be cured by Jesus. The house was so crowded, so they couldn't bring him inside through the doors. They lowered him down through the ceiling. Another lesson for us, whenever we have faith, everything is possible. And now let me tell you about this place. By the way, this is Zachariah. Hello, Zachariah. He's the head of the synagogue. And his main job is to be here all day long. People, if they would like to meet people, they will come here. But he will be the teacher for the kids in the school in the morning for school. He will be the judge for the courthouse. And in the Sabbath, which for us this means Friday afternoon, he would be over here to read the Bible, a passage from the Bible, the weekly portion that we call Parashat Shavua, and then he will explain, which this means preaching. So in the afternoon he will do this, and now it will help us to understand the passage from the Bible, and this is about Luke chapter 4. If you remember, I mentioned to you this passage before in the room that we did the introduction, and it says over there that Jesus entered into the synagogue of Nazareth. They gave to him a scroll, the scroll of the book of Isaiah. Now he's opening the scroll, he finds the passage, and he starts reading.
The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He sent me to proclaim liberty to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to set the oppressed free, and to declare the year of the Lord's favour.
And now he's giving back the scroll to the attendant. He's sitting down and he says something so interesting.
Today, this reading is fulfilled in your hearing.
With other words, you know what he said? Hey, this is me. I'm the Messiah. And now these people got it. Now they're talking, they're saying, wait, how he can be the Messiah? Because we grew up together, we played football together when we were little. We even pressed the grapes together. And he's the son of Joseph and Mary. How he can teach us that he's the Messiah? And now Jesus, he knew their minds. And now he started preaching.
Surely you will quote this proverb to me, "Physician, heal yourself." And you will ask me to do here in Nazareth the things you heard I did in Capernaum. Well, truly I tell you, no prophet is ever accepted in his hometown. You see, there were many widows living here in Israel at the time of Elijah, when the skies were shut for 3.5 years and there wasn't a drop of rain. So there was a very severe famine in the land, and everybody was starving hungry. Yet God didn't send Elijah to help any of the widows here in Israel. He sent him to help a widow in Nazareth, in Sidon. And at the time of the prophet Elisha, there were many people here suffering with leprosy. Yet not a single one of those lepers was cleansed and healed, only Naaman from Syria.
How he dared to teach us about Gentiles in our synagogue of Jews. You remember why we established Nazareth? We were oppressed by the Gentiles. We were waiting for the Messiah to release us from the oppression. Remember what we read right now? Everybody from the synagogue, they knew when Messiah would come, he would do this. And now Jesus, instead of saying something like this, instead of doing something like this, now he wants to change things. He wants to teach us that the Gentiles are good people, like Americans. Nonsense. Because for us, God was for Jews only. Salvation was for Jews only. And now Jesus was supposed to do the same thing, or at least to say the same thing. But now Jesus, instead of doing this, you know what he did, or what we understood? He said he's the Messiah. He fulfilled any of our expectations. And for us, this man, he is not the Messiah. Remember what they did right now? They grabbed Jesus and they wanted to push him down from the top of the cliff. Always I had this question.
Long ago.
What would they do if they've been here instead of them? What will they do? Did you ask this question? Probably the same thing, isn't it? Today we are so blessed. I mean, we have Bibles and so many translations, so many languages, even on our phones. We have so many people that they are teaching us and so many books, but for them they were reading 5 minutes, or in some cases probably a little bit more. In the synagogue, they couldn't afford to have Bibles with them home. So this is why we need to be so thankful for what we have today. And besides this, you know the best news? That today's salvation is not for Jews only. And you know, this is made possible, you know, also for Americans to be saved, and this is why Jesus came. And this is the good news. We can be brothers, not by blood, but by faith. And this is why Jesus came into this earth, but they were not ready to receive a new thing and a new theology. Now we are going down where we have started as well, but if you have quick questions about what you saw till now.
Did they let women in the synagogue?
Now this is a good question and very important one. We assume that they were inside because the separation came later. According to what we know, the separation came only in the late 4th century or beginning of the 5th century when they made coverings for women. But in the Gospel of Luke, I think it said that Jesus cured a woman in the synagogue in the Sabbath while he was talking, which means that they were inside. But many people assume that probably the women were on one side and the men on the other side, but because we do not have pictures or videos, so we do not know for sure. Okay, let's go.